Hey, put yourself in the chat. Let me know who's here. Let me know who's here. Let me know who's here. If y'all do me a favor and share it and let people know that we have gone live, that would be great. Let me know who's in the room. I see you, Regina George. Y'all come on in here. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Do me a favor, get the word out. Let people know that I am jumping on here live at least for 15, 20 minutes. So many of you have been calling me. So I wanted to let you know that I'm jumping on here. I said, okay, let me jump on here. First of all, thank you all for trusting me the way that you do. I appreciate that. What's up, Jackie? What's up? Come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. 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 Hey, what's up? Now, y'all don't look at me. I have very little makeup on. I said, let me do this because you all were asking. I needed to watch the debate first because I did not initially watch the entire debate. After about 60 minutes in, many of you were calling me or texting me, so I decided to watch the last 30 minutes. And before I could come on the show, I needed to do my due diligence, so I had to watch it. Y'all made me watch it this morning, so I did watch it this morning. So that I can talk about it. What's up, Kim Edmondson? So that I could talk about it. So first off, let me say this again. The fact that you all trust me and you were waiting for me to come on and share information means more to me than I will ever be able to articulate. So thank you, thank you, thank you for trusting me and the work that I do at News in Motion. Along with that, again, I was not watching that last night, but so many people were inboxing me, text messaging me, even calling me. I actually did another podcast, right? Kim Edmondson said I didn't watch. Listen. And my phone was just buzzing. So as soon as I ended that podcast, I said, okay, let me see what people are talking about. So I jumped on. Then I listened to some of the commentary. I waited to hear from Vice President Harris on the MSNBC show last evening. I have my thoughts, and I'm going to go through those thoughts with you all. And then this morning, because so many people were wanting me to engage in a conversation, I said, I need to go watch it. So I watched it, something I did not want to do, but I watched it. So where are we today? So if you have been following my Facebook page, this is what I have on my Facebook page. And I did an update about midnight or so. I said, check the people around you. So I'm going to start there and I'm going to back up. Again, I'm going to try to do this within 15, 20 minutes. What's up, Shirley Nicholson? Everyone's saying he was sick. Well, if he was sick, I don't care what you have in place. His people should have postponed the debate if he was sick. Now, when I tuned in, I got to be honest with you all. I was like, what is this? Who is he? Where's Joe? That was my thought. Okay. Now, granted, the other person was just lying and not answering any questions. Again, I only watched the last 30 minutes of it. And although we know that he had a lot of energy, and people were following that energy. He was lying all he wanted to do, but they were following that energy. Okay. It's just the truth. I spoke to a lot of millennials, including the millennials on my team. And they were all like, what you want us to do with that? So there's a problem. So let me go on down my list. The first thing that the Biden campaign and President Biden himself, they need to acknowledge the failure. That was complete failure. He was whispering. We all know that he has a condition with stuttering, but he was stuttering to a point last night that I don't believe he stuttered that to that degree in years. I don't even recall him stuttering during when he was in the vice presidential debates, the previous presidential debates, or when he was on the Senate floor. So something else was going on. Something else was going on. What's up, Dr. Antoinette? And I see you, Pam. See you. I see you. So acknowledge the failure. You gotta come out and say, we failed. We bombed this. Go ahead and get out in front of it and do it. Now, remember, I don't work for any of these people, but I was able to really process watching that today and what I witnessed last night, 30 minutes of it. I said, we're in trouble. Like, the Democratic Party is in trouble. Start fact checking the former president. Y'all know I call him AKA Buttercup, immediately, and release the facts ASAP. You need to be out in front releasing the fact, because honey, there's nothing that he said was true. Nothing that he said was true. I was going through and fact checking it as I was watching it. I was pausing it. And that's the thing about watching it later. You could pause it and fact check it. There's nothing, I think, only thing I think he said was true was his name. Okay. Everything else was false. So there should be 1, 2, 3, like fact check, and put false, and put it out there. Yeah, Kim, it's no surprise. It's no surprise. Now, hopefully they did this already. No one should have gone to sleep last night, including President Joe Biden. There should have been a critical mass meeting last night. I mean, critical meeting, like huddle up, let's talk. There's something that's not connecting with his current campaign team. Other strategists who were talking, and I was reading different alerts that were coming in, everyone's saying the same thing. There's a disconnect somewhere. There's a disconnect, and it is true. And I did hear, I believe it was Joy Reid say this last night, and I also saw this actually on Fox News this morning. Joe Biden should have been on the left, not the right, because of his stance and because of the way he talked. So it looked as if he was looking afar off. Because at one point I said, what is he looking at? What is he doing? So there's some disconnect that they do not know the Joe we know. And they need to work on that immediately. Hire me. I can help y'all. And then pray. So then I went into going through some of my old notes when it comes to looking at campaigns and strategizing. So I'm going to drop these on you. We're going to talk a little bit more, and then we're out of here. I'm not going to hold you long. And let me know in the chat if you hear me, if you think I'm on point, not on point, or whatever. I'm open for that. And I'm on break, but this means that much to me that I wanted to talk about it. But they have to reassess and reframe the message. You can't even deal with old right now. Seriously. And I agree with everyone who had this conversation on the panels last night. Joe, they were making Joe, his team, his campaign was making Joe come up with all the facts and the numbers and the statistics. Okay, be factual, but the numbers, the statistics, how many percentage here, there, that was not Joe. So that could have had him stumble immediately. Yeah, Kim Edmondson, hire me ASAP. I was sharing with my sister this morning, my oldest sister. She said, what can we do? What can we do? You do this. What can we do? And it's just so refreshing to have my older sister see me that way. Because usually your family members don't see you this way. And I said to her, they need to have everyday citizens on all of these campaigns. I said, if your campaign is stacked with all these political science people, and they're great people, they're focused on book knowledge, and they have no idea what's happening. They be in the eyes and the ears in the neighborhood. You can't do that. You cannot do that at all. Take, for example, all the Black people that went to the barbershop in Atlanta for Donald Trump on yesterday morning. That was staged. They rented out a barbershop. And this is the truth. I'm giving y'all facts. They rented out the barbershop. It was Byron Donaldson, Tim Scott, I don't know who else. And Donald Trump called in. And I was watching that live on Spiel, yesterday. Well, he called in. He didn't have the real people on the ground in there with him. That's not good. At least Joe went to Waffle House afterwards, and they tuned into him. They ordered some food. They were hugging and talking and speaking to people. That wasn't staged. They didn't even know they were coming. Okay, when people said they saw some, this is what this one black man said. He said, "We saw some white men in here come drive up and get out some trucks and look around the parking lot." We was like, "Oh my gosh, Joe must be coming," and he did come. But they just surprised showed up. They wanted some waffles and some grits and some whatever else, some eggs. They just showed up. So Joe has that, but he lost millennials like crazy last night. He lost a lot of people last night, but we can't give up. So again, reassess and reframe the message. What's the message? Pam said, on point, get some outside from Beltway on the damn team. They are working in a vacuum. They must, y'all, they must do this. What's up, Adrian? So identify core issues. They need to take tomorrow. They need to take last night. He should be sitting down right now with a serious critical mass team right now. The donors are like, what is happening here? Okay. I'll get to that part in a moment, but they need to say, did you see where you fumbled here? Did you see, do you really know what the answer is here? And make him give the answer. So identify the core issues, focus on the key issues that resonate with most voters. Like Joe, you had women, you had an assignment, women's rights, women's bodies, and call him a convict as many times as you possibly could. Now, he did hit him with an alley cat, so he got some juice somewhere, because he went straight for the jugular. I was like, I said, well, you waited until 10:29 to wake up. So I even said, well, maybe he was on some sort of antihistamine to like dry up his cold and it jacked him up. But they need to fix that. So no one can say he was drugged the other way, okay? No one can say that. There needs to be a clear and concise message. That message did not come forward last night. Joe Biden was ready to go play golf. What? Don't engage in his conversation about taking him on the golf course. Don't do that. Talk about, if Joe really wanted to get under him, he just said, I don't see Melania sitting here. Jim's here. My wife's here. Where's Melania? Because Melania wasn't there. Bring that up. Now, he did say, he was sleeping with a porn star, but he did that at 10:29 p.m. You was a little late. You didn't mess him up good there. Improve the ground game. I don't know where or how. I have some suggestions, which I'm willing to lay them out right now, but they have to improve their ground game. Their ground game has to be on point from this moment forward. Again, they need to hire, I don't know where y'all getting some money from, but y'all need to hire some people. What's up, Stephanie? Y'all need to hire some people. And these hired people need to be people who are able to articulate, stay on message, and you have targeted audience. Like, for example, I'm just making this up. All right, Gail Dudley, you have a rapport with the millennials, and I need you to be in front of the millennials from this moment until November the 5th. And that's at November the 5th at 8 p.m. Pacific time. You need to do this. All right, here's Kim Edmondson. You need to be talking to this group. You have sons, so you're focused on Black boys, and this is your concise message, and this is where you're going. Okay, so and so, you are focused on human trafficking victims and things that are going on. So this is your focus, and you get a team of people, and you that's all you do is you stay in these individual faces. Here's the next group, and so on and so forth, to where we become just sick of ourselves talking, but we get the energy to get us all the way through November the 5th. That's a way you do that. Yes, strategy 101. You cannot continue to go la-di-da, everybody's cool, because we're not. For the first time, I sat there like, well, who am I about to vote for? Because this right here is a mess. It's a complete mess. He looked and acted his age. Here's the funny. My father's 88. I said, my father has more energy than Joe Biden right now. And my father was like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Dude, are you with us? That's concerning. People are concerned. So you need to address that concern. So a part of that, reframing your message, you must address the concerns that people have. You won us over during the State of the Union. You lost us on last night. The other thing, he needs to have some, his surrogates, donors, former President Barack Obama, former President Bill Clinton. I mean, hey, just go ahead and get George Bush, okay? Bring him in the room. They need to go and say, dude, are you okay? Get your wife in there, Dr. Jill Biden. Babe, can you do this? If not, here's the time we need to decide so that we can have an open convention, so we can vote somebody in the convention. Because right now, it's not looking good. And I just have to be honest from my seat. It's not looking good. Yes, Kim Edmonds and the Democrats are very concerned. And we cannot just sweep this under a rug. We have to have a plan, and we have to have a plan now. And that's if you're voting for Democrats, okay? Now, before the Republicans, I know we have Republicans that tune in as well. We also have independents. I want to hit each of you. For the Republicans, don't be too high and mighty yet, because July 11th is coming, okay? He may be in a jail cell somewhere for 6 months. He may be on house arrest for 6 months. He may be muzzled for 6 months. So you can't get excited as well. But here's the other thing, Republicans. Let me just put this out here to you as well. He lied, and he called Joe a liar. I said, you called him a liar? The liar calling a decent person a liar. The liar calling somebody else a liar. What an oxymoron. He lies. And if people start paying attention to these lies, your campaign is going to fall apart, okay? Your campaign is going to fall apart. Kim Edmonds says Jill needs to be Joe's Nancy Reagan. Who was I talking with? I think it was my sister who said the same, similar to what you said, if not the same thing. So improve the ground game. Grassroots mobilization is key right now. You got to mobilize, y'all. Increase efforts to mobilize volunteers and supporters on the ground. Again, that strategy 101 that Kim used, that label, but that's what we need to do. So independence. You know, some people are already like, well, let's go to JFK. Oh, no. You need to do your background and vet the person, okay? People are saying, well, Cornel West. Well, does he even have money? Is he on anybody's ballot? Like, what's happening? What is happening right now? But hold on, I got to answer, because I got an inspirational message at the end of this. Voter outreach. Right now, and I want y'all to hear me when I say this. Y'all know I am the voting guru, educational person that's like, let's go register people to vote. That can't even be the topic of conversation right now. No one's going to listen to you. These other things need to get in place, so pull back. So at the 4th of July picnic, cookout, party, dance, whatever, we ain't registering people to vote. Right? People don't want to hear that. They're like, register to vote for what? And you don't have an answer for who, and you don't have an answer. That's the thing we should do. And I'm losing. What is happening? I don't know. Can y'all still hear me? See, this lags when I'm talking about something that's going to help people. This is crazy how that just went out. Am I back, y'all? Do y'all see me? Yeah, the pot calling the kettle black about the liar piece. This, you're stalling on my end. I don't know. Yeah, isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that when I'm giving you this type of information, we go into this type of delay and messiness on the internet? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that this happens. Okay, so you cannot talk voting. So that's not the conversation at the picnic, okay? The conversation needs to be, what are your thoughts? Did you watch the debate? Have you read any news? Have you listened to any podcasts? What are your thoughts? You want to just engage people in conversation. And you take mental notes of that, so that if you are called upon to be a volunteer in the area, you can talk, go to these town hall meetings. Well, I spoke to 40 to 50-year-olds, and this is what they're saying. We need to address this. I spoke with 18 to 21 years old, and this is what they're saying, and we need to deal with these things. Have this conversation. Have this conversation. Pam says, what will it take for Michelle Obama to quit playing, honey? She ain't doing that. She ain't doing that. Also, y'all, a digital strategy. There has to be a digital strategy. At this point, take President Biden off the videos. Get some young people pumping up other people about this movement and about the things that he's done. But it goes back to that messaging. We can't even get to fundraising because people who are giving money is like, I'm going to hold on to my money to see what's about to happen. All right, let's talk about media strategy real quick. And I had heard some of this early on and found out that it's true because y'all know I'm nosy, so I kept looking. CNN is getting a lot of backlash because they blocked Black media. Yeah, they blocked Black media. They did. And even when you look at who was doing the hosting the debate, the reporters, it was nothing but white. Nothing but white. And that needs to be addressed. That needs to be addressed. Even some of the panelists, it was one side. It needs to be addressed. So media strategy must engage with Black media. They must engage with Black media. It's a must. And there needs to be a crisis management team that pretty much is the crisis management even for the overall campaign when it comes to Joe Biden. But I want to say this to the Republicans. You need a crisis management team as well, because the lies that were told, the lies. And I'm going to just go into evangelicals. You're going to need a crisis management team also. Because when people really decide, let me fact check this and see that you are supporting, in fact, a habitual liar, you're going to have to answer to that. And pause here. I don't want to go there yet. I'm going to get that to the inspirational message. Kim says, where's the diversity? There wasn't any. There wasn't any. You know, they pull out Kamala Harris. And Rachel Maddow pulled this out, and Joy Reid pulled this out last night because I was flipping back and forth to all these different stations. Again, I was even on Fox News, y'all. And they, Vice President Harris, her team allowed her to come on for 2 questions. And it was all, I believe, 9 minutes. And they wanted more. And they keep putting her in a box. They got to let her out. They got to let her out and have this conversation with people. If there's ever another debate, which I pray to God there isn't for this election, there needs to be a different debate preparation. He needs to have real live people at the White House asking questions, people who are on the streets. And if he's not answering them, they need to be bold enough to say, you didn't answer my question, Joe. Like, come on now. Tell me, let me feel what you're thinking and what you're saying. There needs to be some coalition building, y'all. There needs to be some internal campaign assessment. Hire me. Someone needs to assess that group and say, what is happening here? They need to assess the Republican group. They need to assess the independent group. Someone needs to do this assessment. There needs to be a lot of public engagement, town hall meetings, some listening tours, some taking notes, some assessments, some things like that. Adrian says there's a young man on TikTok who goes by Too Raw, Too Real, who is highly informed and vocal. He is rather raw, but spits facts. Give him a follow. He actually does campaigning for Biden in his state. Okay, y'all. So if you're on TikTok, look at Too Raw. That's the number 2 Raw, and then TOO Real, REAL, and follow him. Pam is saying, yes, get the face of diversity up and out. 1,000% must take the message to the people. Kim, girl, they was at where'd they go? Off Camp David for a week. I was gonna say for a year. They probably need a year. For a week. So there's something that there was a disconnect. And if he was sick, and I understand that when I don't feel well, I don't perform well. But if he was sick, they should say, you know what, he's too sick. We got to postpone this. And if they were trying to stop any type of spin of him being sick, figure it out. Have a crisis management team to do that. Yeah, Pam, they don't need to do the one in September. I know I'm praying that there'll never be another one. And then they got to become innovative. So this is where I'm going. And I stayed on here longer than I planned on. And I'm really on break, y'all. So I really don't, but I wanted to come. And again, I appreciate all of you who reached out to me wanting me to say something about this. I am very grateful for that. So if there's an inspirational message in any of this, and just follow me for a moment. When I finally took a step back after I watched this morning in its entirety and read tons of alerts, I said, y'all know I'm a follower of Jesus. So I said, okay, God, what are you really doing? What are you doing? And I finally said, this had to happen. This had to happen. It will show the people who are lazy, the people who are too relaxed, the people who think that Joe Biden is just a shoe-in. Don't make the same mistake people made in 2016 with Donald Trump. Okay. If Donald Trump was not the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party, I can guarantee you the nail would have been in the coffin last night, and people would have jumped from the Democrat side over to the Republican side saying, hey, this is where I'm going. Like, at least I can sleep at night. So if there was another, even a Nikki Haley, people would have jumped to the other side already. So this had to happen. Donald Trump's lies had to be exposed. The truth of where Joe Biden is had to be exposed. And as a country, are we willing to come together and unite and say, okay, we got to make some changes? Is there an age limit on running for office? I don't know. And I'm getting older. Okay. I'm getting older. I don't know. Are there cognitive tests? Not the one Donald Trump was talking about. And you cannot ace a cognitive test. And I heard those from psychologists. Okay. You can't do that. But he kept saying he aced it. If they're not answering the questions, do they get fined money from out of their campaign? We have to reassess what we the people are doing when it comes to these political offices. We need to say, okay, something here needs to change. And this is what's important. And it's out there, fact check it. There are over 700 delegates who were ready to side with Joe Biden, now the Democratic Party, last night. They held back. So there are 700 plus uncommitted delegates who are like, we're not doing this. Like, I'm not about to vote for you. Like, what is happening? So they have to have somebody out front. Barack Obama, our forever president, love you dearly. Are you at the White House right now? Are you in the Oval Office having a conversation, West Wing somewhere, talking to somebody? We gotta do this. But the other thing, y'all, we have to pray. And I do believe prayer changes everything. We have to have this strategy, but along with that strategy, we have to pray. We have to pray for the strategy. And where do we go from here? So, y'all, the other thing that I want to say is let's not just throw in the towel either. And I had to check myself with that this morning. Can't just throw in, because where am I going? What am I doing? So what can we do? What can we do as voters? 10 town hall meetings, become a volunteer, become a donor, do something that's going to make a difference. So let's just wait and see how things unfold. That's my assessment only. The information I gave you there is information after I went through everything and watched it. And I will say I'm disappointed. I will also say I have faith. And I will also say that they've got to hire some different people. They have to. They have to diversify their people. One thing that the Republicans do, and this happened last night, that the Democrats have a challenge doing, if that would have been flipped and that would have been Donald Trump, they would have supported him and said he was the best thing, he was the winner, everything else. The Democrats went into making posts on X, making reels on TikTok, making reels on Instagram, on Spill. They were just going in on everybody, like fire him today. Well, you just can't do that. And at this point, he has to be the one if he decides he can't do this. But the question is, are you ready to vote for anybody that's going to come behind him? Where's our rally and where's our support of whoever that person is? Because right now we are not all on the same page. And that is somewhat concerned. No, it's not somewhat. It's very concerning. It's very concerning. All right, y'all. I hope that you got something from what I said. Thank you again. Those of you who were even Pam, girl, are you on today? I was like, no, I plan on writing an article later. And then I have 3 more calls after, like, can you say something? Just calm my nerves. Well, this is my something, and I'm not sure I calmed your nerves at all, but I wanted to make sure I'm here and I give you the truth. All right, y'all, I'm going back on break. Please support our young people. Remember, there's nothing next week on News in Motion. Our young people, Lexi and Isaiah, will be here on July the 9th. They will take us through July. We are on break in August. I know that is the RNC and the DNC. The RNC begins July the 15th. It goes to the 18th. I am not reporting on my birthday on July 19th about anything he said on July 18th. So don't look for that. Don't call me, nothing like that. And we're on complete break in August. I will pop in from talking about the DNC, and then we'll be back in September, the Tuesday after Labor Day. Let me see what y'all are saying. Regina, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome, Kim. Shirley Nicholson said, must admit, I did go to your page to see if you had said anything. Pam said, thank you, Rest Stop. It's going to be an epic ride to November. It will. It will be. All right, y'all have a great weekend. Y'all have a great July 4th. Have a great, great, great July 4th. Be safe. Again, don't try to register people. You just got to have a conversation right now. We still want to go back to registering folks, of course, but you just still want to do that. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. I'm not doing no music or anything. I'm just signing us out. We are out of here. You are welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome.